Went golfing on the weekend. It was is this on? Okay. Went is this plugged in? Yeah. It was the first time I went golfing in probably 2 years. Like that's like low, 2 years. Yeah, it could be even longer than that. Like I'm trying to remember the last time I went golfing. It was probably, you know what? Even saying 3 years. 3 years might not be pushing it. But went on Sunday. Went to a lovely golf course called Cobble Hills. Just up Dundas there. Um it was pretty nice. Like I was making contact with the ball, but the shots weren't good. Like it wasn't like it was I kind of remembered how to swing. I mean, come on, it's just like the ball's on the ground and you try and hit it with the club. None of my shots were that good. I had a couple flashes, but it makes you with golf like even though you could go into it saying like I don't care. I just like the banter. I just like the hang. I don't care about being good, which can be true. That's what I think. I don't really care about being good at golf. I don't see myself spending like money on a bunch like nice clubs. I don't see myself doing that. But when you're playing and you hit a bad shot, you're like, fuck. Last shot went straight. This shot went fucking 300 yards to the right. What the fuck? That kind of stuff. I had a couple. I thought chipping was gonna be hard. My issue with like after the drive, my issue with like the my approach shots is I sometimes don't follow through with it. Like as soon as the club hits the ball, I'll just stop. Like I'll just like stop with the swing, or I'll just like smash the ground where the ball is, and the ball will go, and the club just gets like dug into the ground. But with the chipping, I remember not being good at that at all. But with the chipping, for some reason on Sunday, I was finessing those shots. I was just sweeping underneath the ball. It was making that noise too. Underneath the ball, it was like a sword cut underneath the grass. And I was doing it with like a one-handed shot. As soon as the club got underneath the ball, go to one hand and just guide it. I was making some nice shots. After making a nice shot, you feel a little cocky, you feel good, and then you go up to putt and miss. And then you're like, oh yeah, we're playing golf. Everyone's bad at golf. That's also something. Like, sometimes I wouldn't want to go golfing because I'm not good and I don't take it that seriously. Like, not seriously at all. But I don't want to go with, like, my friends who are trying and then I'm just kind of like, lollygagging around. You know what I mean? But that's actually not the case, I find. Because when you go, nobody's really good. Like everyone's like missing shots or duffing shots. Everyone's getting like 3 over, 2 over the par. I was pretty much shot limit every hole. I bogeyed 2 holes, which I would scratch that up to or jot that down as luck. But like nobody's really that good. Like if someone is nervous about getting into golf because they think they're not going to be good, hey, everyone's not good. Okay? And another thing that sucks is that when you go up to like the first hole, or like you're letting somebody pass you because you're like a group of four and they're two people and they have to drive in front of people. I notice it, dude. Everyone gets nervous when they have to drive in front of people. Like when we were at the first hole, like there was like us, the marshal, and then a group of two, and then I think there was a group going. I can't remember correctly, but there was at least a group that had to go in front of us. You can just see it on their body, dude. They're nervous. They don't want to drive in front of you. They don't want you to look at them as they're hitting the ball. And then they shank it and they're like, ah, fuck. And then like you kind of act like you you kind of act like you weren't looking. But it's all good because everybody shanked their ball. But I kind of want to get out there again. I think I need to go to the driving range. And like at least get something down with the swing. Like figure out how I like to swing, because I was like trying different ways, or like step this foot back, or have the ball more in front of your like towards your front foot. Try to aim it like way to the left because you fucking hook them every time. I gotta like figure that out, like figure out a swing that I do every time, and then try and work on like your arms, just keep your arms straight. Once you do that, I think that's probably like a massive step in playing golf, just swinging the same way every time. Yeah, get out to the driving range, and then like I want to probably want to play another round. Golf's long as shit too. Like we got there, we think we were playing for like 4.5 hours. Holy fuck, it took a long time to play, but it was fun. Like I remember like when I got home, I was tired as shit, just in the sun all day. It was supposed to rain and we missed it, so I was lucky, but I was tired as shit. And then the next day, oof, my left side, like my left obliques, my left abdominals, my left washboard abs were like sore. My arms weren't really that sore because I'm like jacked as shit, but my side was pretty sore. And then like, dude, your spine is just all twisted up. There's no like, I think a back injury is pretty common in the golfing realms, because dude, you're just twisting your spine. You're just like, you have this metal stick in your hand and you're just swinging as hard as you can to hit this ball. And your spine just gets all kinds of fucking twisted. So your body, like the next day, your body's like, dude, what the fuck? What were we doing? Like, why did we have to do that? Why were you twisting and fucking jerking your hips? Like, what was that? What were we doing? What was the application? Why did we have to do that? Oh no, I was just like trying to hit this little white ball off the ground and put it into this hole over there underneath the tree. What? Is that worth like shattering our spine and like rupturing our L8 through 6 vertebrae? Yeah. Fuck. So you gotta foam roll, you gotta stretch that shit out. And I just came off the IL-10 with a back strain. I was moving this, it was like a giant, it's like a deck or a giant pallet at my buddy's dad's. When it was lying flat, it wasn't heavy at all because there was like 7 or 8 of us. But we had to put it from his front driveway to his back yard. And we had to lift it up so it was standing up and go along the side of his house. And when we were moving it then, holy fuck, it was heavy. God damn. And you're standing there, so we just like go a little bit, drop it, go a little bit, drop it. But like it's the house, 2.5 feet, the deck, 2.5 feet, and then the fence, probably even less than that, the side that I was standing on. And you can't squat down and lift with like your whole body, with your legs, and you're fucking try and get your whole body underneath it in the lift. So you got to start the lift from a standing position. And dude, my lower back aged 10 years. Fuck. For legit the next 2 weeks, like I could feel it in my lower back. Just this little like it didn't stop me from doing anything, but it was just like, hey, we're here, by the way. Like, hey, buddy, we're here. This exists. Just letting you know. It was like that. And then after golf, the next morning, it was like there, but like 30% of what it was. It was just like faintly there. It was just like you'll be walking, you're just like, oh yeah. Huh. So, yeah, lifting big ass deck, IL-10 on the back. But you know what? It's all good. It's even more than all good. It's fantastic, because my mindset is, if my friend asks me for help, if I can physically go, if I'm not doing anything, if I'm not out of the city, I have to go. Honor compels it. Honor demands it. So I go. If I get injured, oh well. Ow, fuck. Well, not actually oh well, but you know what I mean. So spine's all twisted up from golfing. I wonder if there's like there's a certain stretch you can do so that your body's like, okay, we're gonna be doing that twisting thing again. Twist the other way. I feel like with a lot of back stretches too, like some back stretches, it just seems like it's not actually good for your back. It's like, oh yeah, just like hold on to like the table here and like just twist, try and spin your spine like towards the other way. Like, are you sure this is gonna like stretch out my back? Yeah. Okay, because I feel like I'm about to snap. No, you're good. Another thing that I wish I knew when I was, well, not actually wish I knew, because I never applied it, but one thing I found or figured out or learned when I got older was stretching out your calves and your hamstrings alleviates that like sore back sometimes. Like if you've been standing all day or lifting shit, or you've been sitting down all day, stretching out the hamstrings and the calf alleviates a lot of that uneasiness. I don't know. And like that's factual because I'm a personal trainer. But I'll be looking to golf again. It was pretty good. Golfing, if it was raining, that would fucking suck. I might just do best ball at that point, or skip shots. I don't want to golf in the rain, dude. No thanks. But it was, I think it was like $53 for 18 holes in a cart. That shit can get expensive, man. If you're golfing, like, if you're going out like once during the week, and then on the weekend, you're spending over $100 a week on golf. I don't know if that's quite my bag. I like going now. Now I want to go, but do I want to spend $100 a week on playing golf? I don't know, dude. I don't know if I do. Um, the Montreal Canadiens are in the finals, which is very exciting. A team I cheer for has only made it to the finals one time, and that was the LA Rams. Um, so very exciting for Montreal. The outdoor scenes of the Quebecers raging after Montreal goals or Montreal wins. Great. This is great. Great look. Oh, they flipped a car and destroyed a cop car. Who cares? Who cares? And you know what? It's probably good for people who've been like, especially in Canada, because Canada's a little behind on the opening up stages. So to see that, it's probably like people are like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's go crazy. If Montreal wins the cup, ugh, they might burn that fucking city down. They might burn the city to the ground. Then they can't have the parade. Where would they have the parade if they burned the city? Toronto? That the Quebecers burn down downtown Montreal. They raze it to the ground. So the parade's been moved to Toronto. That would be hilarious. The actually old show, very old show. It was a book, got made into a TV show like back in the 90s. And that's Game of Thrones. Probably the best show ever made, in my opinion. I haven't seen every show, but I think it's the best show that's ever been made. The last 2 seasons were not the same quality as far as like the first 5 or 6 seasons. It was like a lot of it had to do with the dialogue amongst the characters. It wasn't just the action or that kind of stuff. A lot of it had to do with like just scenes where 2 characters were chatting. And they got away from that in the last 2 seasons. They just rushed it like, we're going to rush to the next action scene. It's season 7, Beyond the Wall, when they go north beyond the wall to try and capture a zombie, a white, they call them. They try to capture a zombie and bring it south to like show Cersei like, hey, this is a real thing. We can't be fighting. That episode was fantastic. And then in the final season was fucking god awful. Inexcusably awful. HBO will never recover from that. It'll always be a shit talking point, always be a meme. Big mistake. Probably the biggest mistake in that company's history. Probably will be that for the rest of time too. But the Battle for Winterfell, I thought was fucking amazing. Like, yeah, the seasons, like the script in the last couple seasons was not good, but you know what? They still pumped a lot of money into it. They still pumped a lot of money into those action scenes, a lot of money into the editing and the CGI. So can't take that away from them. That shit was amazing. But what I'm talking about is after the season 8 I haven't like looked at anything Thrones, watched anything Game of Thrones. I thought about doing like a rewatch, but then I would just have to watch season 7 and 8 and just be like, fuck sakes, why'd they ruin this shit? Fuck sakes. Because I think I heard, or like I heard it somewhere, maybe on another podcast, or I was told that the two writers who are not the like D&D, I don't know, they're at like David and something, that HBO wanted to do 10 seasons, 10 episodes each of Game of Thrones. Could you imagine that shit, dude? But there's two writer guys. They wanted to wrap it up quickly because they were offered a job at Disney to do Star Wars 10 to 12. So they wrap up Game of Thrones horribly. And then they go over to Disney. And then Disney fires them. They have no part of 10 to 12. Disney fires them. So hold on. You wrap up Game of Thrones, the best show ever made, because you want to go do Star Wars. But wait, hold on. What? Disney fired you? What the? Oh, so what about like Game of Thrones? Oh, it's just wrapped it up, eh? Just called it. So fuck those guys. I'd like to look at both of them in the eye. Look into their soul. Just ask them, what was going on? What's the actual story behind this? Because this could be fake. I don't know if that's true. I heard that somewhere. But very disappointing. So I haven't watched anything Game of Thrones or done anything like that since that last season. But the other weekend I came across, there's this YouTuber who I used to watch all the time when Game of Thrones was in its heyday in like season 6. The YouTube's Alt Shift X, and he would talk about like Game of Thrones theories, and then he would do and then starting in season 6 he did breakdowns of all the season, like of the episode, I mean, and like what does this mean, or where does this tie into the books, shit like that. And he showed up on my YouTube like home screen. I was like, oh, I'll Shift X, what? This guy's still making videos? And yeah, he is. He's still making like Game of Thrones like conspiracy videos. So I watched a couple, and I thought, alright, that's pretty cool. I remember that. And then I came across, he had this like 7.5 hour video. 7.5 hours. And it was like this Reddit iceberg thing, where like the top of the iceberg is like, it was a conspiracy iceberg. So the top of the iceberg is like shit that like everyone pretty much knows. And then the bottom of the iceberg was like weird shit, dude. Weird shit. Shit that I had no idea what the fuck they're talking about. But I listened to the whole 7.5 hours. And I'm back. I'm back in it. Game of Thrones is not dead. So what did I do? I went on Amazon. Click, 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 click. Amazon app. Oh my god, dangerous. Game of Thrones books. I think there's 5. Game of Thrones books. Ordered. $40. Done. Books arrived. I started reading it. I'm like 110 pages into the first one. I like how they do it laid out with like the chapters. Like it's not like a typical book chapter. It's like it's just the character's name, like their point of view, which is pretty cool. But so far as I've been reading it, the scenes have been like hand in hand with the show. Not entirely, but like the first episode is like, oh, that's like this scene in the show. So that's probably gonna change down the road, but I'm back. I'm back into it. Anybody want to talk Game of Thrones? I'm there. When I was a kid, I used to like I read books. I used to like reading books. I used to like reading like fantasy shit, like yeah, like fantasy books, like fiction kind of books, because I like the imagination. I always have. So, but the thing is, when you're a kid, you like that shit. I liked those fantasy books. I liked the imagination. But when you're a kid in school and you're just trying to read a book, just trying to enter your own world, they're like, oh, we gotta do a book. What's it called? Like book report. We gotta do a book report. What's everyone reading? Everyone has to read a book. And oh no, you're like a little kid. You're in grade fucking 4 or 5, reading fucking Warcraft, and you're like, fuck. I want to read this book, but I have to do a book report on it. Fuck. And you're just feeling so nervous and like so insecure that you have to do this book report on this non-cool book. Cause dude, those like you're reading a book about like magic and like swords. Wow, you nerd. That's not cool. Which we all know is silly to think that. But that's now. When you were a little kid, it's important. Or you don't realize that as a kid. But doing those book reports, you have to like, oh, so my book is this, and you can just see it on all the other kids' faces. They're like just judging the fuck out of you. They're like, oh, fucking nerd. This guy likes fucking mystical fairies. Fuck. Sucked, dude. Sucked. That shit can make some people... I can see that shit making kids not like the things that they like, because they'd rather not be made fun of or look cool at school than do the things that they like. Not good, man. Not good. Kids are ruthless. But I've always liked those kind of fantasy books. It makes you think about shit. You create your own imagination. But what I'm about to say is going to completely contradict what I just said. Because reading the Game of Thrones books, I like that I've seen the show, so I can just like put faces on people. Like, it's easy. I can just kind of like read the story instead of picturing shit, trying to picture shit. I just know what shit looks like, or what people look like. So, that's good. That's been good. The new Loki show has been good. I think this one might be the best of the 3. By the end of it, it's at least started like that. The first episode was a lot of like explaining what's going on, what is this. And then episode 2 got pretty hype. Episode 3 was like felt like a filler, but a lot of them like a juicy information came out in it. But you know, I think Marvel, they either have to be like, they have to be careful with this time shit, because they're just fucking with like so when Marvel introduced like this ability to change time and to change history in their movies, that opened the door. They can do whatever the fuck they want. So if they decide to just change everything in the show, they could just change it on the fly. They don't even need to plan. They're like, you know what? Let's just change this. This guy's alive. They gotta have some like analytical nerds, some Marvel history nerds, like in the same room, just be like, hey, this checks out. This doesn't check out. You can't do that. This doesn't make sense. Get some scientists in there. Get some scientists talking to them like, you know, in our world, this probably wouldn't make scientific sense, but in this world you claim this guy has magic? Yeah, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm sure that could work. Okay, cool. But Disney, hey, why does Loki come out on a fucking Wednesday? Wednesday? Why? It should be Friday only. Maybe Thursday. Maybe Saturday. But like, why is your show coming out on Wednesdays? Tell me the math. Tell me the thinking behind that. I want to know. Oh, another thing that's pretty fucking funny. The one Barstool, it's a Barstool, I think it was like a Barstool podcast, the Call Her Daddy podcast. I think it was like part of Barstool, and then she kind of became her own thing, but now, or she was still like tied to Barstool, but I don't think she was like advertising that a lot. I don't really know. I haven't listened to it at all, but I know the girl. I've peeked at her Instagram. Know that. She just did a deal with Spotify for $60 million, which is great for her, but it's just her. When I first heard of this Call Her Daddy, it was the two girls, but then they broke up maybe 2 years ago. They broke up. I don't know why. I've heard, the one thing that I've heard is that the other girl who left, her boyfriend like influenced her to leave. I don't know if it was like over money, probably, but I I want to see this girl's face when she reads or she first learns that the podcast that she left, which was booming, just signed for $60 million in Spotify. Oh no! I don't even know who this other girl is now. She just leaves, and then like the blonde girl, Alex, she just keeps going. They're like, this is my thing, bitch. This is my podcast. Call Her Daddy's mine. You gotta think of another fucking name. She just keeps going with it, and this other girl leaves. I don't know if she did she quit Barstool too? Like, is this girl doing her own thing? I don't even know. But that's fucking tough, dude. That's tough. This podcast that you left just made $60 million. And on top of that, that's just the deal, right? Like, ads and like all that other shit that this girl's making now. Like, I hope it was worth it. I hope whatever reason you had to leave that podcast was worth at least $60 million. Or this boyfriend of yours, who I hope you're still with. Be funny if you weren't. This boyfriend of yours, him or his family is worth $60 million. I hope that's the case, because this is a tough look. But it's been hot as hell the past few days, so everybody's swamp status.